Before you open WhatsApp again, check this phone number setting because there is a genuinely significant privacy issue built directly into how WhatsApp has worked since the app first launched. One that most of its more than 2 billion users have simply never thought carefully about. And in 2026, WhatsApp itself has finally started rolling out a real meaningful fix. So in this video, we are going to walk through exactly why your phone number on WhatsApp has always been considerably more exposed than most people realize. The real research demonstrating just how large-scale that exposure genuinely is, the brand new username feature WhatsApp has been rolling out specifically to address this exact problem. And the complete practical checklist of every privacy setting, genuinely worth reviewing right now before you open the app again. So let us start with the fundamental issue, because understanding exactly why this matters requires understanding something most people simply never think about. Your WhatsApp account has always been built directly around your actual phone number, not a separate username or handle the way most other major social and messaging platforms work. Meaning your phone number does not simply function as a private login credential the way it might on other services. It functions as your actual public-facing account identifier, visible to anyone you message, anyone who adds you to a group, and in many cases, anyone who simply has your number typed into their own phone's contact list, even if you have never personally saved their number in return. And this specific design choice, baked into WhatsApp from its very earliest days, has genuinely significant real-world consequences that go well beyond simple inconvenience. And it is genuinely worth understanding exactly how significant this exposure actually is, because this is not simply a theoretical, abstract privacy concern. Researchers at the University of Vienna specifically conducted a study demonstrating that WhatsApp's use of phone numbers as public account identifiers allowed them to systematically collect 3.5 billion registered phone numbers through a technique called enumeration, essentially systematically testing enormous ranges of possible phone numbers against WhatsApp's own servers to determine which ones were actually registered, active accounts. And it is genuinely worth sitting with that specific number for a moment. 3.5 billion phone numbers, harvested not through any sophisticated hack or security breach in the traditional sense, but simply by exploiting the basic, fundamental way WhatsApp's account system has always been structured. And this is precisely the kind of large-scale, systematic privacy exposure that most everyday users genuinely have no idea is even possible, since it happens entirely on WhatsApp's own back-end infrastructure, invisible to any individual user going about their normal, everyday use of the app. And it is genuinely worth walking through, in concrete, practical terms, exactly what this kind of phone number exposure actually means for you personally in everyday situations, since abstract statistics about billions of harvested numbers can feel somewhat distant until you connect them to genuinely common everyday scenarios. When you receive a message from an unknown number claiming to be a delivery service, a bank, or government agency, that sender potentially obtained your number through exactly this kind of large-scale harvesting, rather than any personal connection to you specifically. When a former colleague, an ex-partner, or someone you would genuinely prefer not to have easy access to your daily activity patterns still has your number saved from years ago, they can by default continue seeing your profile photo, your last seen status, and your online activity indicator, all without you ever having actively chosen to share any of that information with them specifically. And when a debt collector, a scammer, or literally any stranger who obtains your number from any source whatsoever, a data breach, a marketing list, or simply guessing and checking numbers systematically, types that number into WhatsApp, they can immediately see your current profile photo the moment they do so, entirely by default, unless you have specifically gone in and changed that particular setting yourself. And this brings us directly to the single most significant, genuinely newsworthy update in this entire story. Because WhatsApp itself has finally directly acknowledged this exact underlying problem and begun rolling out a genuinely meaningful structural fix throughout 2026. A brand new username system that allows you to be found and contacted by a chosen handle instead of your actual phone number. And it is genuinely worth understanding exactly how this new system works, since the specific details genuinely matter. Under this new system, users can specifically choose to be, in WhatsApp's own words, findable and contacted by their handles only, meaning someone could theoretically start a conversation with you on WhatsApp, having only ever known your chosen username, never learning your actual phone number at any point in that entire process. And Alice Newton-Rex, WhatsApp's own vice president, of product, specifically described this as being designed as a core privacy feature, directly acknowledging in the company's own official blog post the exact underlying concern this feature was built to address, stating that when someone new walks into your life, a classmate, a neighbor, someone you meet at an event, sharing a phone, number can feel like a big step, precisely because a phone number is personal and it's tied to so many parts of your life. And it is genuinely worth understanding a few specific, important technical details regarding exactly how this new username system has been designed. Since WhatsApp has been notably thoughtful in how it approached this particular rollout, there is specifically no public directory of usernames anywhere within the app, and critically, no autocomplete suggestions either, meaning someone genuinely needs to already know your exact specific username in order to actually find and reach you for the first time, rather than being able to simply browse or search for users the way you might on a more public-facing social media platform. And this specific design choice genuinely matters, because it means adopting a username does not simply trade one form of public exposure for another. It genuinely allows you to share a considerably more disposable, easily changeable identifier with new contacts specifically, while keeping your actual phone number, the identifier permanently tied to so many other parts of your digital and even financial life, considerably more private and protected. And it is genuinely worth understanding the practical rollout timeline here as well, since WhatsApp specifically began by allowing some users to reserve unique usernames ahead of a considerably larger, broader rollout that continued unfolding throughout the year. Meaning, depending on exactly when you are watching this video, this feature may already be fully available on your own account, or it may still be in the process of a more gradual, staged rollout specifically to your particular region or account. And it is genuinely worth checking your own settings menu directly to see whether this option has already become available to you personally. And now, let us walk through the complete practical checklist of every single privacy setting genuinely worth reviewing on your own WhatsApp account right now, going well beyond just the new username feature specifically, because there are several other genuinely important settings that have existed for a while now, but that most users have honestly still never taken the time to actually configure for themselves, starting with your last seen and online status specifically, since by default, anyone who has your phone number, whether or not you've saved theirs in return, can see exactly when you last opened the app. And this applies to sales contacts, casual acquaintances, and complete strangers who found your number online through any of the exposure methods we discussed earlier. And you can change this specific setting by going into Settings, then Privacy, then Last Seen and Online, where you will find 4 distinct options to choose from. Everyone, my contacts except, and nobody. And it is genuinely worth understanding one specific trade-off here. If you choose to hide your own last seen status from others, you will correspondingly lose the ability to see other people's last seen status as well. A reasonable, reciprocal trade-off worth being aware of before making your own final choice. The second genuinely important setting involves your profile photo specifically, since, by default, your current profile photo is visible to absolutely everyone who has your number, regardless of whether you have saved their number in return or have ever actually interacted with them at all, meaning a debt collector, a scammer, or an old contact you would genuinely prefer to have no ongoing visibility into your life can see your current photo the instant they type your number into their own WhatsApp app. And changing this specific setting to My Contacts, found within that same settings privacy menu, ensures only people already present in your own phone's address book can actually see your photo. And it is genuinely worth noting that on more recent devices throughout 2025 and 2026 specifically, WhatsApp has also begun blocking screenshots of your profile photo when someone views it in full screen, adding a genuinely useful additional technical layer of protection beyond the basic visibility controls itself. The third genuinely important setting worth reviewing involves exactly who has the ability to add you to groups without your direct permission, since by default, literally any WhatsApp user can add your number to any group whatsoever, entirely without asking you first. And this specific default setting is precisely how so many people find themselves suddenly, unexpectedly receiving a flood of notifications from spam groups, scam groups, and unwanted marketing groups they never actually chose to join into. First place, and reviewing and adjusting your specific group privacy settings, found within that same broader privacy menu, genuinely represents one of the most immediately practical and satisfying changes most users can make. The fourth genuinely important setting, and one specifically highlighted as part of WhatsApp's broader 2026 privacy overhaul, involves something called strict account settings, a specifically bundled set of protections that, when enabled together, automatically blocks attachments, meaning files, images, and documents, from unknown senders who are not already saved in your contacts, directly reducing your exposure to malware or spyware delivered through exactly this kind of unsolicited file sharing, and separately, silences incoming calls from unknown numbers entirely, meaning calls from numbers not already saved in your contacts arrive without any notification whatsoever. And this specific combined feature genuinely represents a meaningful, convenient way to enable several related protections all at once, rather than needing to hunt down and individually configure each one separately yourself. And it is genuinely worth understanding a fifth related feature, specifically worth knowing about: an intelligent call silencing system that can automatically mute calls, specifically from numbers flagged as having a high probability of being spam, giving you the option to silence either all unknown callers entirely or specifically just those numbers. WhatsApp's own systems have identified as likely spam, a genuinely useful middle ground for anyone who still wants to remain reachable by genuine unknown callers, a new client, a delivery driver, while still filtering out the most obviously unwanted spam calls. Specifically, and it is genuinely worth mentioning, one additional feature specifically worth knowing about if you handle any kind of genuinely sensitive conversations through WhatsApp, a feature called Secret Code, which allows you to hide specific, individually chosen sensitive chats behind their own unique passcode, entirely separate and distinct from your phone's own regular lock screen passcode, and these specifically protected chats disappear completely from your main chat list once enabled, only becoming accessible again through a dedicated secret search function, meaning even someone who has direct physical access to your unlocked phone would not simply be able to browse and discover these particular conversations without also knowing that specific separate passcode. And it is genuinely worth understanding that WhatsApp has also introduced a centralized privacy dashboard specifically as part of this same 2026 update. A single unified screen specifically designed to review your current privacy configuration across the app and proactively suggest specific improvements, genuinely useful for anyone who wants a quick, comprehensive overview of their own current settings without needing to manually navigate through several separate menus, individually checking each one, and it is genuinely worth being direct and honest about one final, important practical detail specifically regarding phone number exposure to businesses on WhatsApp specifically, since this represents a genuinely distinct category worth understanding separately from your personal, individual privacy settings. WhatsApp does offer a specific phone number hiding feature specifically for conversations with verified businesses, meaning the business cannot see your actual phone number or call you directly at that number unless you specifically, deliberately choose to share it with them. And when this protection is active, you will actually see a system message directly within that specific chat alerting you that phone number hiding is currently enabled for that conversation. But it is genuinely worth understanding one important permanent limitation here. Once you do choose to share your phone number with a specific business, whether deliberately or because that business already obtained your number through some earlier separate interaction, you genuinely cannot turn that specific sharing back off again afterward, meaning this is a decision genuinely worth making thoughtfully and deliberately, rather than simply clicking through a share number prompt without fully considering the permanent nature of that particular choice. And it is genuinely worth stepping back to address honestly and directly why this and T. Higher topic deserves the level of sustained attention we have given it throughout this video, since a phone number, in a way that most people genuinely do not stop to consider on a regular basis, functions as a remarkably powerful, persistent key, connecting an enormous number of different T parts of your digital and even financial life, your banking apps, your two-factor authentication codes, your social media accounts, your delivery services, and countless other platforms and services. All frequently rely on that exact same phone number as a core identifier or recovery mechanism, meaning any platform that treats your phone number as a casually, broadly public piece of information, the way WhatsApp historically has by default, genuinely creates a meaningful, underappreciated privacy exposure extending considerably beyond simply who can see when you were last active on one specific messaging app. And understanding this broader context genuinely helps explain why WhatsApp's own new username feature represents such a genuinely significant, meaningful step forward rather than simply another minor, incremental settings tweak buried somewhere deep within a menu nobody ever actually opens. And so, bringing everything we have covered together into one final, complete, and genuinely practical picture, before you open WhatsApp again, it is genuinely worth taking just a few minutes to work through this specific checklist, check whether the new username feature has become available on your own account yet, and consider setting one up specifically for new contacts going forward. Review and adjust your last seen and online visibility settings. Review and adjust who can see your profile photo. Review and adjust who has the ability to add you to groups without your permission. Consider enabling strict account settings for a convenient bundled layer of additional protection, and take a moment to explore WhatsApp's new centralized privacy dashboard specifically to catch anything else genuinely worth adjusting for your own particular situation. And this entire process honestly takes only a few minutes to work through completely, but genuinely represents one of the highest value, lowest effort privacy improvements available to you on an app. The overwhelming majority of us already open dozens of times every single day without ever thinking twice about it. If you found this breakdown of WhatsApp's phone number privacy settings genuinely helpful, please take a moment to like this video, share it with anyone in your life who could benefit from a few minutes of straightforward practical control over their own digital privacy, and subscribe to this channel so you continue receiving practical, genuinely useful privacy and security guides as major apps like WhatsApp continue rolling out meaningful new protections throughout the rest of the year. Let us know in the comments below which of these specific settings you are adjusting first, and whether the new username feature has already become available on your own account. And we will see you in the next video. Until then, stay informed, stay in control of your own personal information, and stay curious about what other useful privacy settings might be quietly hiding inside the apps you already use every single day. And before we fully wrap up, it is genuinely worth addressing a handful of the most common questions people tend to ask. Once they actually start working through these specific settings, starting with one of the most frequently asked, will switching to the new username feature actually remove my phone number from my account entirely? And the honest answer is genuinely no. Your phone number remains the underlying technical foundation of your WhatsApp account, regardless of whether you adopt a username. Since the app still fundamentally requires a phone number for registration and core account verification, what the username feature actually changes is specifically who needs to know that number in order to reach you, allowing you to share a considerably more disposable, easily changeable identifier with new contacts specifically. Rather than eliminating your phone number's role in the underlying account system entirely, another genuinely common question people ask is, people who already have your phone number saved will lose the ability to see your profile information once you adjust these privacy settings. And the honest answer depends entirely on which specific setting you choose, since options like My Contacts specifically continue allowing people already saved in your own phone's address book to see your relevant information, while only Nobody or My Contacts Accept would specifically restrict visibility from people who already have your number saved, meaning you retain genuinely granular control over exactly which existing contacts continue seeing your information. Going forward, a third question genuinely worth addressing is whether these privacy settings need to be configured separately on every device you personally use. WhatsApp on? And the honest answer is genuinely no, since these particular settings are directly tied to your WhatsApp account itself, meaning they automatically apply consistently across every device where you are logged into that same account, including WhatsApp Web and any linked devices, unlike some other platform settings that may need separate configuration per individual device. And a fourth question genuinely worth touching on is whether enabling these various privacy protections could make it harder for legitimate contacts, family members, delivery services, or genuine new business contacts to actually reach you when needed. And the honest answer is that WhatsApp has specifically designed most of these features with exactly this kind of practical balance in mind. Options like My Contacts Accept allow granular exceptions for specific people. The intelligent call silencing feature specifically targets only flagged high probability spam rather than blocking all unknown numbers indiscriminately. And the new username system specifically still allows you to freely share that username with any legitimate new contact whenever you genuinely want to be reached, meaning these protections are honestly designed to reduce unwanted